kids. Well, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with my friend Chris, and we're going to be chit-chatting with Chris a little bit. I'm going to give a little introduction, and then I'm just going to ask Chris a few questions, and he's going to roll with it whichever way he feels like rolling. Chris, to give you a little bit of background, at the age of 22, 23, was a DEA agent, was involved deeply with Pablo Escobar, the drug kingpin. There's pictures that I saw of him sitting on millions of dollars of cash, looked like tons of cocaine. He was an Army Ranger.
Yeah.
He has...
I went to Ranger school. Let me retract part of it. I did not become a Ranger.
Okay.
But I went to Ranger school.
And so he's done other numerous things that will actually be fodder for another video. So even though he's done all these cool things, like he's been an undercover DEA agent, he's lived in various countries, he's fluent in Spanish, he's had his life threatened, he's had people's backs, he has killed somebody in the line of work, and so we're not going to talk about any of that. We're going to use that for a follow-up video. And what I wanted to ask Chris primarily was, what was your motivation, A, for moving to the Philippines, and B, what was your life before you got to the Philippines, and C, what's your life like today? So take it away, Chris.
Okay, many of you probably know I did a video with Gio. Big shout out to Gio in the Philippines. He's a friend of ours. Anyway, Paul was gracious enough, and I thank you very much for letting me express myself in this way. So I appreciate that, Paul.
You're welcome.
Anyway, I decided that I wanted to continue on because I wanted my experience, which I think was sort of unique in some ways, at least to me, to be out there and for other people to know that the shit that happened to me might have happened to them, and you know, you're not alone. There are a lot of us out there. Doesn't matter if you're a DEA agent or a street sweeper or whatever. I mean, life is like that. And I loved Paul's videos because Paul was straightforward about his kids. I've got kids in the U.S. We all see the deterioration of the family and how life is going in America. And he and I share that common bond.
Yeah, we do. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because you kind of reached out to me, and we lived out here at the same time. As far as I know, we've never crossed paths prior to meet the other day, which is weird, you know. But you'd said that you'd seen something on my video that had evoked an emotion or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And could you expand on that? Because
absolutely.
There's probably another guy.
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of them.
And that's why I didn't want to go into all the sexy DEA stuff. I wanted to get more onto the...
There's plenty of videos about the guys that did stuff like that. But,
yeah.
We talked, I think, Paul, about the fact that you have grown children and I have grown children, and we're both somewhat estranged from them, and the circumstances surrounding all that, how someone made me feel much better when they told me, as a parent, from one parent to another, that, hey, you probably love your kids more than they love you. I mean, that's just the way it rolls. And maybe that's true, I don't know. But my daughters, I don't think, are involved in drugs. However, they are distant from me in ways that I wasn't from my parents. It's different.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a different generational. To them, an email is like, I want to visit with my mom, and I get an email.
Right.
So, if I'm lucky.
Right. Right. So, what was going on in your world and your family life that you think caused the dissension between you and your kids?
Absolutely, it was driven by the divorce industry in America, which lawyers control. The courts are crooked. The whole system is crooked, and it's just a giant feeding trough against the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot. A lot of it. A lot of it was the fact that she was exploited by the attorneys.
Your ex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which happens to a lot of people.
And did that turn the kids against you?
And of course, that has a direct correlation to why I'm estranged from my daughters.
Okay.
Sure. And I'm not completely estranged, hopefully, but there is distance between us that shouldn't be there. And a lot of that is, I believe, in my heart of hearts, I believe, is pushed and fabricated by the system.
When you say the system, what are you talking about?
Well, it's not. I don't call it the deep state. Some people do that. It's right up in your grill. I mean, it's right in your face. They tell you how to live your life. They tell you what you should think and what you shouldn't think. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. I worked for them for 23 years, and as a special agent, I did wiretaps and I enforced international law against arms and all those sorts of things. And let me tell you, I learned very early in my career that there are people that are above the law, and they're called politicians. And
I'm still a little confused because
okay,
you went through.
Sorry, I'm gonna rant.
That's okay. That's all right. I go on them all day long. You fit right into this channel. But I'm still confused because you had a family life. You went through a divorce.
Correct.
But why would were the kids programmed, do you think? Or do you own some of the stuff?
Oh yeah, sure I own.
Okay, let's go there.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
go there for a minute.
Yes.
Let's just do this. What did you do wrong? Or what do you think you did
Okay,
wrong?
yeah, it's a good question. Many things.
Okay, such as?
One of the things that I did wrong is not cut my losses and move on from bad situations. I tried to fix people that weren't able to be fixed.
Okay.
Be the knight in shining armor, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And I didn't really take care of me. I didn't take care of myself. And because of that, as I've told you, I went through a horrible, very serious illness, and I was at death's door 3 or 4 times with these treatments, and because of that, it was a blessing. I became free from all the bullshit in life and more in tune with what really matters, and that's how you love and treat your fellow man.
So if I could make an assumption, because I know this was one of my big downfalls, and I don't beat myself up over it anymore,
Right.
although I used to, but I thought that if I threw money at a problem, it would fix it. I thought that if somebody was in trouble, somebody had made a mistake, I'm talking about my kids,
Right.
that I should go in and fix it because that's what men do. They fix problems.
Right.
Turned out that it fueled the fire, and
Yeah.
it turned out to be an enabler.
And
And so when everything went off the rails, I would sit at home alone and I would just beat myself up.
Yeah.
And I would feel shame, and I would feel confusion, and I would feel anger, and I would feel self-loathing. And I fell back on God, for one thing, and gave it to Him, which was a big relief. And then I also had a mini intervention with my best friend and my father, who told me, Paul, you know what, you tried your hardest, and you have to look at a man's intentions. Was his intentions good? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Was he doing the best he knew how? Even though he was doing everything wrong,
Right.
was he trying to help? Does that apply to you? I mean, were your intentions good? Did you?
Yeah.
You wanted to fix things. You wanted to patch it up.
What's the old saying? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
I've been the enabler,
Okay.
just like you. I learned, thank God, when my daughter was misbehaving, I learned very early, at the age of 21, I stopped being the enabler.
Mm-hmm.
However, a lot of pain ensued because whenever you put your foot down and you're a parent, you're going to get blowback.
Yeah.
And society has changed now where it's okay to treat in America. That's why I'm here, Paul.
Okay.
Because I felt like a stranger in a strange land. I lived in Colombia, I lived all over the world, and I had seen that there were other societies and cultures where older people were valued and life was valued and people had a different mindset. And luckily for me and you, we found the Philippines.
And how long have you been here?
Coming up on 9 years, I think, is what I tried to calculate. Yeah.
Okay, from America.
Yeah, and I lived many years in Colombia, South America. I've been all over South America. I speak fluent Spanish. My wife was Colombian, and I'm still great friends with her to this day, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I had seen other places. My brother brought me here. He fell in love with a girl, and I ended up kind of moving in with her to babysit her while he was flying. He's a pilot.
Uh-huh.
And while he was flying, I kind of raised her, brought her up. And then I met everybody in her family, and my wife is the last person I met. About 3 years after I met all of her family, I met my wife. And I ended up here. We wanted to get out of Pampanga where we were.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, shout out to our friend Rike by the sea. I saw his video, and that's why I came here.
So you were watching Rike's videos.
Yeah.
And you saw what he was doing, and you said, that sounds like something for me.
And I said, Valencia looks like a great place to find a place to land.
So 9 years ago, you pulled the trigger and you came out to the Philippines.
Right.
And so what kind of guy are you today compared to 9 years ago?
Just a totally different person. My stress is almost non-existent. My blood pressure's normal. I'm happy. I have 5 times the number of friends that I had in America. I'm making more every day. I have a great family and wife and kids that love me here, and I just don't know how more blessed I could be.
And for the guys out there that are going through issues with their own children right now, my message was, I've said before, but I'll go ahead and repeat myself, was that when you give and you give and you give and you give and you give, you empty, and pretty soon you got nothing left. And you have to stop at some point in time and be selfish and refill yourself.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
And you can only give up so much because
Absolutely.
we only have a finite amount of emotions and whatnot.
Very true.
So I had to fix myself.
Right.
And I still have my what do you call it?
You still haven't. Maybe you could make some improvements, like all of us could.
There you go.
But I'll tell you.
Just my memory.
But well, I'll tell you though.
So how did you fix yourself?
How did I fix myself?
Yeah.
Well, I've never been diagnosed with it, but I'm sure I have PTSD.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah, man, you were an undercover agent for a long time.
Yeah.
You were under a lot of stress. You were.
I've been married 3 times.
You've been married 3 times. Yeah. So a drug raid was nothing as opposed to coming home to the old lady.
The court system, right? So anyway.
At least you could shoot the guy as a
drug
raid.
Right.
When you got home to the old lady, you had to listen to her.
Well, they smile at you and say, "No, this is on the level, dude. Don't worry."
Yeah.
So anyway, how did I fix myself? I fixed myself because I had a couple of really dark nights where people who were in my life that were causing me a lot of pain not women, men. It's a long story, but just people who were. I really wanted to go settle it kind of old school, and go at them.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I would end up in jail,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to make a decision if I was going to let my emotion overrule my logic in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't drink, and I don't drink, and I don't smoke. I'm just a kind of average dude. But gosh, I was just wanted to whip ass on some people, and I knew if I did that, I'd end up in jail, and things would not work out for me. And I just decided to get on a plane, and I got on a plane, and I went to the Dominican Republic, and because I speak Spanish, and I hung out there with my brother for a year, and I said, screw America. I love you and everything. I love my country. God bless it. But I got to take care of me.
Okay.
I got to wreck myself or help myself before I wreck myself. And because I had evil intentions and bad things going on in my heart.
Okay.
And that's not me, man.
So do you think removing yourself from the environment and just
Yeah.
getting a new outlook
Yeah.
on life was a big trigger?
Yeah, and I began to see helping other people. I joined a veterans group. I did a lot of help with a bunch of the guys that I knew that had PTSD, and I went to a few of those therapy groups trying to help guys and that sort of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so that helped a lot.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, you either own it or it owns you.
There you go.
That's the deal.
I like that. I want to end the video on that. Either you own it or it owns you. That's the first time I've heard that. I don't know if that's original or if that's an old saying.
No, I stole that somewhere.
But here's the dealio. We're going to get together again. And we're
that.
going to do some other videos. This is a gentleman that had hepatitis
C. He'll tell you. We'll tell you the story about that.
Tell you the story about that. You smoked medical
marijuana for federal agent to medical marijuana patient.
That's interesting. I want to hear about the Pablo Escobar days.
Yeah.
Okay. And all that good stuff. And then I would kind of like to get into on another video, maybe about your family life, day-to-day life, things such as that nature.
Yeah, I'm building a house here. And
that's right. You're building a house.
Building a house here, and
I've got all kinds of content.
4 great kids, and there's a lot. I know there's a lot of guys back home struggling and dealing with all the kind of the bullshit in the system and all that. And from my heart of hearts, I'll help you any way I can. I feel for you. It's a rough, cruel world out there.
So let me ask you this, and we'll end on it, because I do love that saying. Either you own it or it owns you. For when you're feeling shame, and when you're feeling guilt, and when you're feeling anger, and you're feeling desperation, and you're feeling helpless, what was it that you did or what would you say to these guys that maybe feel that way right now? Maybe they're having an issue with their kids. Maybe they're having an issue with their wife. Maybe they're having an issue just with drugs or alcohol,
right,
or loneliness or self-doubt or whatever. Just the aging process.
Yeah.
What word of encouragement would you want to offer these guys?
Well, stay tuned for our videos, because if you ever want to get out of America for a little while or meet a Filipina girl, let us know. But I'll tell you, the thing that works for me, and I hope it works for you, is just getting outside, being in the world, in the environment, in the snow, in the forest, wherever you may be, at the beach, being outside, staying in your apartment and hunkering down is just the wrong thing to do.
Okay.
That's why this Chinese virus is so bad.
Yeah.
Because it's made people into house.
It is isolating people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hang in there, kids. All right. It will get better.
All my love and respect to everybody out there.
Mine too. We'll see you crazy people later.